Welcome to the Chronicles of Caffeine and Ambition, hosted by the Cinder Sisters. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Megan. And what we are here to do on our podcast is tell you about business, life, families, essentially everything that we do, we want to share with you because we have a lot of self-confidence. We've learned a lot of self-confidence over the years.
We sure have.
And we want to share that with you. We want to show you how.
Let's do this.
So we're going to start it all off. How did we get into this?
That's a big story.
That's a big story.
That's a long time ago, too.
Let's go back to the beginning. We're actually sisters. So there's that. Let's start there.
At the beginning? Oh my gosh. We shared a room.
Stacy's the older sister, by the way.
Yeah, you can't tell. I know I look younger. Yes, I am the older sister, but I'm the middle sister. So we shared a room when we were kids.
Stacy fell out of the bunk bed.
Naked, by the way. That's another story for another episode. Oh my gosh. We grew up in the middle of nowhere at that time. It was the middle of nowhere. We had 50 acres. We had a chicken farm. We had an acre garden.
It was homesteading at its best. It was back to the country. It's like what everybody's doing right now. What millennials are doing right now. That's what we grew up in.
And it's funny because I remember being older and like a teenager and saying, oh, I hate this life. I can't wait to get out of here. And now I sent Meg a farm last night and was like, we need to move in together and buy this farm so that we can go back to how we live because I miss it so much. So crazy how life goes.
So for all of you, anybody who has siblings, and I don't think it matters the dynamics of the siblings. If you have siblings, or if you have heard the jokes, if you're an only child and you've heard the jokes about it, they're 100% true. We are our own people, and when you live with someone, you don't always get along.
No.
We were really close. I don't want to say best friends when we were little, because I don't know that we were ever that close. Like, you always had your group.
I think we had to be friends when we were little because we were closer in age and you had to come play with me because mom was like, take your sister with you.
I mean, I can't even count on my both hands how many times Stacey got angry because I followed her around or wanted the same haircut. Yeah. So maybe we weren't really friends. So let's back that up. We got along.
We did get along. We did. It's not like we didn't talk. We did. We got along just fine, as siblings do. And then you sort of split apart, become your own person as a teenager. I became extremely angsty.
It's like the horror stories of teenage girl.
That was me.
That was Stacey.
That was me. Yeah.
So we split apart at that point. I mean, that's hard for anyone. It's hard for the person going through it, but it's hard for the person who was with you in the beginning. Anyway, so I mean, ups and downs, and it continued because I mean, we're siblings and we work together now. So there are always ups and downs. Not so many downs now.
It's worked well, I think, because as you grow into a person, you grow into understanding other people and the psychology behind why people do what they do and how people tick. And so I think it has become a lot easier now to be friends and business partners now, because let me tell you, it wasn't in the beginning.
No. And I mean, that's what I mean. We have leveled, but we've grown dramatically through multiple businesses, through ups and downs of the business, through failures, we've grown dramatically as people and then grown together. But just like when we were kids, we were close, then we were not. We started the business. We were close, I suppose, but it's one of the things that I go back to frequently. I'm like, when we started our first business together, it was a joke for a while that we were going to take over that business because we worked in it since we've been in the wedding industry for almost 3 decades. We're not going to count those years. But we joked for so many years that we would take over that business, never really thinking that it would actually happen.
Yeah.
I traveled for a while, came back, had a job, had a proper 9-to-5 job.
I did the same job for the last almost 3 decades, essentially, and stayed here, worked through it, and then on the off season when we didn't have work, would go and work at like a flower shop, and then I'd come back and work in this, the industry again. And then I called Meg one day and was like,
essentially out of nowhere, because I don't honestly remember there being conversation about this ahead of time.
Is there anything I ever do where it doesn't come out of nowhere, where it's like, okay, so in a little bit we're gonna have a discussion? No, it's like, no, we're doing this right now, like yesterday.
I'm at my job, like I was at work, and Stacy calls and she's like, so I'm gonna take over this business, but I don't want to take it over if you don't come with me. And honest to God, my answer was, why? I mean, we weren't that close at that time that I was like, obviously you wouldn't do something without me. I was like, no, seriously, why do you want to work with me? Why do we want to work together? Because it's been hit and miss so far.
Yeah, it's not like we're the best of friends and work well together, really. I'm like, no, it's a great idea. Yeah.
But I said yes. I mean, because
why not?
That kicks it all off. That was the beginning of why not? Because I was like, I mean, it's the job that I was at was a contract anyway, so it wasn't something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life either. So take over a business, I didn't know what I was doing with my life, so I was like, yeah, sure, okay, sure. You want me to do the bookwork? I have no training in that, but sure, I can do that. Our first business was so dependent on the second. So the second business is the bridal shop, so Cinder's Bridal House. Our first business was so extremely dependent on the bridal shop that when we found out the bridal shop would either they were moving or shutting down, it was an internal struggle for them. So who knew what was going to happen in their business? But so they came to us because we were so symbiotic. We worked so closely together. So they came to us to tell us before it was announced. I mean, I don't feel like the logical thing for somebody to say is, well, why don't we just buy it?
Why not?
So that, in all honesty, is how we end up with a second business, because the first one needed it. Otherwise, we would have to face the idea of how to change our first business, either shut it down, which was a loss to us and the employees, but also we could change it. I don't know. I mean, at that point, it's changed the entire structure of what you're used to in your business and something you've grown. Like, and this was 8 years in. We've been running the business for 8 years.
Correct.
So at that point, you're pretty well established. We have our plans. We were ticking along. Everything was going generally all right. Do you shift everything that you're doing?
Could we have? Yes, absolutely we could have. We could have moved everything into the city with them if they were moving to the city. But again, I think it also for us was someone else has a hold on our business because we're so reliant on that business. And I don't want to do that. And it's not like, when we say why not, it's not like we say why not. It's just willy-nilly, oh, let's just do whatever. It's not that at all. It's why not, because I think we enjoy the jump into a bit of an unknown, but also the jump ahead. It's something that is...
We're not stable one-line people. We're a little bit erratic.
We laugh often and joke about how we live right on the very knife edge and that fine line of going complete insanity. I don't think I'd ever want to do it anything different. I enjoy that edge, living on the edge all the time. I think that you get one go round at this life, man. Like,
I'm gonna slide through that end goalpost, just like
beat up. I want to slide through there and be able to sit on the rocking chair and tell my grandkids what I did in my life. And I want my grandkids to be like, she's crazy.
Sure, Grandma.
Sure, Grandma, you did that.
I'm sure.
That's exactly what I want to hear. So I think for me, it's also showing other people that it is possible.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's why not has become a catchphrase for us, because so many people don't start their business, don't take that leap, don't do the thing that they want to because they're worried about the consequences. They're worried about not knowing enough. If you don't take that leap, you're not ever going to do it.
No, oh my gosh, agree.
You can worry constantly. You can worry for a year and prepare and get everything set up in a line. But if there will be a point where you have to start that business. Otherwise,
it'll never start.
It'll never happen.
Never.
So that's what why not is to us. It's the jump.
Yep. Absolutely.
So we said, why not take over a second business? We have no background in business. We have no, well, we do now, sorry.
Yes, at the time, when we bought the first business, we had no background in business.
And no schooling.
No.
No training.
None.
I'd probably read a couple books that people had recommended.
I did not. We'll get into that later. I don't read.
Yeah, so the second business, I mean, I'm not going to say that we trained a whole lot through the first business. Obviously, we learned HR, we learned payroll, we learned things of running a business. But were we prepared to take over a second business?
No!
Were we prepared for, I'm going to say no right off because I'm going to explain why not. We were not prepared for the fact that our first business was a service-based business and our second was an inventory-based business.
Yes.
And inventory management is apparently its entire own thing that to this day, and it's been, we're 10 years now.
Yeah.
With the second business.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years and I still detest inventory.
Agree. Which is why we brought someone on just for that.
Just for inventory.
Just for that. But it took us this long to do that. So, yeah.
So if you think of the business as an extension of yourself, an extension of the family. So Stacey and I, growing up, had ups and downs, had good times, bad times, close, not close. Yeah. There were times throughout our business that we didn't talk to each other.
There was. She's not lying. But what I was going to say is it was that bad. We had our mom worked with us as well. So it was actually a family business. And it would be a mom. We're old at this point. Like we have babies at this. I have babies at this point.
Yeah, you did.
Mom, can you tell Meg that I said this, please? Like we're at that point, like we're 5 again. Like ridiculous. But we did long stint of that, I think, where it was us not speaking. Somehow still able to run a business. Don't ask me how, but we did it. But we grew out of that. And we learned from that.
Well, and this is how grateful that we are forever grateful for the people that we have with us. Our team, like the only reason we got through that, acting so childish and so ridiculous, the only reason we got through it is because we have the team that we have.
Yeah.
So
and we still have a lot of that team now.
Yeah. Everything ran, it continued running, and we did our own pieces. It didn't affect the business in that way, but I mean, if we didn't have a good team behind us, or if it was just us and we were just our family, and we weren't talking,
it wouldn't have worked at all.
Would not have worked. So the business is 100% an extension of our family, and I suppose that's another part of it too. One of the most important parts of starting a business, running a business, and wanting to be successful in that business, it is your life.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to give your life to that like you would a child or a significant other, then it might grow. I'm not going to say it's not going to, but you will struggle with, because the time that it takes to make it grow, the time that it takes to run the business. And we are extremely lucky, regardless of the times where we didn't speak and we were sisters and things went bad. Regardless of that, we always had each other to lean on when it went bad. So the important aspects, I think, it's an overused term, but I mean, it takes a village. We grew up on a farm. It wasn't just us, obviously, taking care of everything.
No, it was our grandparents, our parents. It was us. It was like family. We all came together to work together to make something grow bigger, and it was better because we all worked at it.
And that's how we look at our business.
Yeah.
It's not just us. It's not just us making decisions. Even if we have the final say, we always ask for input because we might not know that answer, and we easily admit that.
Yeah.
It might not.
Or we might know an answer, but there might be a better answer for it.
Yeah.
And the team
we'll
might
come
have
up with an answer regardless of what we're talking about. We'll talk about anything. We'll answer you anything. But you're right. It might not be the right answer, the best answer. It might not be the best way to go.
Yeah.
So for us, the village is the completely all-important aspect to growing our business, because we created that core team with our first business, brought them with us into the second, rely on them heavily. Still to this day. They take care of our kids.
That's a whole other episode we will have to get into, because our kids were raised here as well.
Yeah.
So that village has not only taken us through business, they've also taken our family with them too.
So what we've done is create this entire community around ourselves, our family, and our business. If you don't have the family to do that with, because we had each other and we had our mom. Honestly, in the very beginning, we had grandpa as well, because he funded our first business.
That's a good point, yes.
So if you don't have those pieces, you have to create them. You have to find them. You have to. I think that's the biggest thing that I've been saying lately. You have to create a community. You have to find the people that will support you, whether it's friends or family, doesn't matter. Whether it's us, that's why we're here. Because we want to help people grow. We want your business to grow. We want to impact every person that we meet. We want to empower you, give you self-confidence. We want people to say, why not? We want the world to be, why not? With restrictions, obviously. Let's not get carried away there. We're here as the support. So, I mean, if you need community, reach out to us, because that's what we want to do. Yeah. It's what we've had, and we're grateful for it. And not everybody has it. So we're extremely lucky.
We are very lucky.
But everyone needs a village.
What's that quote? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far,
go together.
Now, in order for us to grow even more than what we've already got it to, because we can only get it so far by ourselves, we had to bring somebody else in. Now, at this point when we did this, though, we were at a complete meltdown stage, like down in the depths, having a walk together, being like, I can't do this anymore. I can't work this hard. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not doing this.
If you want to talk burnout, I mean, we will have a full episode on burnout because we did it yearly.
Yearly.
No joke.
Yeah, it was bad. So this was at one of our burnout times. My partner at the time said he'd be happy to join us. And so I talked with Meg about it. At this point, since we're so burnt out, she was like, let's just do it. And I was like, okay. And we didn't even, there wasn't a, why should we, is it a good idea? And like, there was no sort of,
we knew all along that we needed another person to help us grow, because we'll be the first to admit that consistency is our downfall.
Yes, it is.
We have the ideas.
Absolutely.
But making them come to reality takes other people to support us. There was no, yes.
I'm looking at Meg. If you're not watching on the YouTube, I'm looking at Meg being like, because this used to just only be me, but we now are like two helium balloons who are like, if they're not tethered to something, we're gone. I don't know which direction we're going. We could be going separately. Who really knows? So we are essentially like that on a daily. But let me tell you, I'm getting somewhere. I'm going far. Just don't know where that is. So the Rock showed up. Not the actual Rock, different guy.
Not
this is my Rock showed up and holds us both down because he comes from a corporate background. And he is definitely a move it forward, straight. It works like this. This is how we do it. He's such our opposite.
It's like the rabbit in the hare.
Man, that's exactly who it's like.
He's just chugging along, doing the things, and we'll be on like 5 different plans of different businesses and travel and things that we can do, and let's do this. He's on number 1. But I mean, if we're serious about number 1, then he'll at least start working on number 1 and make it work.
Yes.
Whereas we're on number 4, 5, and 6. 7.
Starting all of them. We're starting all of them. Okay, we got all this going. Let's do this. All right. And he's there, and he'll keep doing it. And he plugs away until we're like, number 5. We're doing number 5 now. And if we're actually serious about that, he'll start doing that too. Like, he is great. He's perfect for what we need. And I think that's where we realized at that point when he came on, we needed to start to amass. Since the business has gotten to a point where we can't be the sole proprietor's mom and pop shop business anymore, it's now getting a little large for us to hold in our hands. So we need to spread it out and get people who know more than us and who are way better at these things than we are. Which then in turn, also once he came on, we did all this, that brought us to our next business.
So this is our third and most recent.
Yes.
Something that we have, again, zero background in. But we don't have any problem jumping into it because, I mean, by this point, we've created our personalities, our personas of the things that we're capable of. We're capable of talking to anybody.
Absolutely.
We can find out what that person needs. So that's our job. And that is translatable to so many businesses.
Sure.
So this newest venture has nothing to do with us. The technical side of it, so it's someone else's dream, essentially. Yeah. And what we said is, we believe in you. And we trust that she's one of the hardest workers I've ever met.
Yeah.
She will make that work. She
has
no
the
ability, she has the background, she wants it. So we're support and background knowledge on how to run a business. So, like, I can take care of the government stuff, and we can talk to the clients and those kinds of things. Mm-hmm. Again, we're creating a community, but for someone else.
Yeah. Which, you know what, I mean, for me, that feels great to be able to do that for somebody else. I don't need it for me, but to watch somebody else flourish and be in flow, be in their state and their happiness and watch them do it is amazing. And that makes me happy to love my job, get up every day and do what I do.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good point. Mm-hmm. And it, like with the beginning stages of that business, it reminds me so much of our beginning stages where we were impressionable and excited, and it's the beginning, it's the start.
Yeah.
The
start of that mountain.
Yeah.
Like, and just ever climbing. And like, maybe that's what it is, and maybe that's what gives me joy too, is the climbing of the mountain to get, like, if you've ever ran a business, owned a business, done something, actually just even like ran a marathon, did something of some large proportion, you can understand once you did it and it's over, it wasn't actually getting to the top of that mountain, because you're there and you get it and you're like, oh my gosh, I did it, oh my gosh. And that moment is great. But the next day you're kind of like, oh,
what now?
Okay, yeah, what do I do? So you realize it's the whole climb is actually what the part that gives you that, like, I mean, for me, it just gives me, I love it. I
think which is also probably why we're on 3 businesses and planning a 4th.
Yeah.
Because we are slightly addicted to the dopamine rush of creating the business.
Yeah.
and thinking of all the possibilities. It's the helium balloon in an absolute windstorm. Yeah. Possibilities. Jumping. We might have an adrenaline problem. Mm-hmm. So extreme skill is necessary, especially when you're working on wedding gowns, because the secondary business, which is the business that our seamstress was based so almost entirely around, was it's a bridal shop. So our biggest business to this day is the bridal shop, selling wedding gowns, and then the seamstress capability, the skill that's needed to work on those wedding gowns is astronomical.
Yes.
Hard to find. And then our third, which is the one that we have zero background in, is digital marketing. So we're not the tech people. We're the talkers. We're the ones that make you feel good about being in that company, but working with us, about being our partners.
But if you'll notice, really, every one of those businesses has something to do with the other business, and they need each other. It's not like we're willy-nilly just doing things.
You're right.
They all work together for each other.
Yeah, you are right. Well, and the skills for us. And the skills for us personally are the same through them all. Right now, we take care of the people.
We also do a lot of social, and we do social events. We're the ones going out to meet, greet, do that kind of thing. For Cinders, it was style shoots, so which means you're going out to meet and greet everyone else in the industry, or we go out to galas. We are the people. We are the face, and we are the ones who attract the people to the businesses.
Yeah. I think what we've realized over the years is this is exactly what we're trying to give back right now. It's the empowerment, it's the self-confidence, it's the ability to jump, it's the ability to say why not. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you're not getting there. If you don't have a community, you might not. It might be a struggle. We have the self-confidence, obviously.
Definitely.
We don't have a problem with that.
Only through years of just doing it.
Exactly.
The self-confidence, I think also a bit of delusion.
The Lulu is the Salulu.
It sure is.
But that's what we want to give people. That's what we want to teach people. That's why we're here, right?
Yes, agree.
So that's what our goal is with this, with our socials now, with our podcast, with everything that we are trying to give back. We want you to learn self-confidence. We want you to learn to jump. We want to be there for you to do those things, because it's a ride for us.
Yeah,
to see
definitely.
You grow, to see you establish, to see you become empowered. And it's something that goes through every single piece of our business, all of them. When we see the seamstress work in a different way than she has, because we're always changing little bits and having them work with the clients, which is something they've never done, empowering them to do that.
Yeah.
When we have a bride walk into the store to buy her wedding dress, watching them shift from fear, essentially, the anxiety and the fear of trying to find your wedding gown, and the stress that we put on ourselves, the pressure that we put on ourselves around the wedding day and around finding a dress. We want to see the shift of self-confidence and empowerment. So we laugh a lot. We don't take life too seriously.
No, we don't.
We don't take most things too seriously. That's not self. We take ourselves too seriously sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good point. We do.
But we love to laugh, and we love to tell a story. So what we're hoping is that you can learn something from us and that we can help you grow. Follow us, subscribe, leave us comments, honestly, because what will make us and you go furthest is for us to know what you need.
That's great. Yeah, I love that. And you, not only on this platform that you're listening to us on, watching us on, but we're also on most social media platforms. We've got Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok, and on multi-levels as well of it, on between the Cinders Bridal House, between Cinders Sisters. We've got it all.
Build a community. Come with us. Join our community, because we're growing. We're not done yet. We are far from done.
Far from done.
So our goals, our dreams, we'll talk about them. We'll show them. We're still in the middle of them.
Let's make your goals and dreams come true too.
Yeah.